Freedom House is one of the few places in the country that provides long-term addiction recovery for moms with young kids in a Christ-centered family environment that's also free. So those are like four things. There's all kind of places that do one or two of those four things, but we're one of the few that does them all.
Hi there, and welcome to our next episode for the Prosperity Builders podcast. Today, who do we have, Scott?
Well,
I'm so excited.
I know, I'm super excited. I have a friend of mine who is also an amazing human being in that he's really involved in helping to minister to the community at large, and so I'm really proud to welcome Houston Core. So Houston, welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're
awesome.
really happy to have you here. Houston, we're going to kind of dive in because I think there's a lot of ground that we can cover here. You're one of those guys that as soon as you get to know Houston, you're like you want a little bit more. So he's one of those great guys who don't you love that description? Those people who you just feel like you want to get to know them better, and you can pick right up where you left off. So those are rare human beings. So it's really great to have you here.
Thank you.
First, so Houston, you are the executive director of Freedom House. Mm-hmm. So I want you to give us a little bit of background about what Freedom House is. Give us a little snapshot of that.
So Freedom House is one of the few places in the country that provides long-term addiction recovery for moms with young kids in a Christ-centered family environment that's also free. So those are like four things. There's all kind of places that do one or two of those four things, but we're one of the few that does them all. So a mom will come in for a year, and we basically teach them the fundamentals of being a mom and a family, and really just restore that family back together. It's different for every family, every mom, just like any other family. But we do that for the first year, and then the second year they go out and they live in one of our houses rent-free. They save up and they start living in the community with a job and a house and their kids, and just like any other family.
It's amazing.
So, yeah.
It really is. So how did Freedom House get started? Where I'm just kind of curious a little bit about, because it's been in existence for quite a few years. So tell us about that.
Yes, it's 2006. So my mom actually started Freedom House in 2006, and really,
was your mom?
yeah.
Really?
Isn't that great?
When you said the name, I didn't realize it was your mom.
Yeah,
great?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's neat. Okay.
it's really kind of an extension of my extended family. So my mom, when she was growing up, she was one of five biological, three foster siblings, and then they had all kind of other kids that lived there from time to time. So really 10 plus. And she was closest in age to my Aunt Bonnie. And my Aunt Bonnie was a foster sibling, and she just wondered where her parents were. And she wondered what it would be like if her parents were taking care of her the same way that my grandparents were, and like if she had that chance. And she had a great upbringing and couldn't have had a better opportunity in life, but she always wondered. And I think because my mom was similar age, that seed was planted, and she always wondered too, and Freedom House was really birthed out of that seed that was planted at a very young age.
That's amazing. So your transition, I'm just kind of curious about your background, because obviously you don't necessarily go to school to be an executive director of a foundation. So tell us about your background.
Yeah, so I went to App and got a business degree, and then I went to law school down in Alabama, and my plan really for law school was to have better opportunities in business. I just like business, and so I got a law degree and MBA, and came out and worked as a lawyer for 1 year at a firm and hated it. And so I was just really praying that the Lord would open the doors for me to be able to do something where I really felt like I could do things entrepreneurially. I could start a business. I just felt like I could start any business and grow it and be successful, and a lot of that was naive, but I felt like it, and so I just prayed that the Lord would do that and set me up somewhere where that work would go to help others. And that literally defines a nonprofit. But I didn't realize that at the time, or I wasn't thinking about it. And so, my Freedom House, it's like family to me. Yeah. And I was always a part of it, and they ended up needing somebody, and I just started helping, and I'm still there. So,
Not great.
Yeah.
So these women that come, tell us a little bit about them and their stories and things like that.
They are the full gamut from, we've got a lady that graduated that was a week from being valedictorian at Wesleyan, full scholarship at Carolina, to trafficked and homeless and whatever.
Wow.
Just everything. And most of them have been on drugs, usually opioid these days, for a while. And it's been long enough that they know they don't just need short-term treatment, they don't just need detox. They go and get detox and they're like, I need something long-term, and I want to restore my family and create generational change and give my kids what they really need. And so we just provide a place for that.
Do they have to meet certain qualifications to get accepted into
Yeah.
Freedom
So
House?
mainly the qualifications are the kids have to be 10 and younger.
Okay.
And that is mainly because we want to keep kids together that can live together in a healthy way.
Right.
As we grow, we may be able to accept older kids, but mainly the moms have to not have any issues that would endanger the other kids or moms or anybody in the program, endanger their recovery or just physically or any other way. So that really is a lot of things, but as long as you're not going to harm others or potentially harm
Yourself
others in
or
our
others,
program,
right, yeah.
we'll have you. And that's the same thing that'll get you kicked out for the most part. If you're going to bring down the group, you might get kicked out of Freedom House. Otherwise, we're working with you.
So how many women at one point in time do you have there?
So right now we have 110 acres out in Summerfield that we bought, which is a whole story in and of itself. And we have 3 houses out there, and we hope to have 8 to 10 at some point. And we'll have 50 or 60 people living there at any time. Right now we've got 15 to 20 moms and kids associated, daily with the program. But if you extend it out to the people that are really around the program, I don't know, maybe 50, because the families participate, the older kids participate, people that have graduated a while ago participate. So,
Well, so I want to come back to the kids in just a minute, but how do you fund such an enterprise? I mean, 110 acres, houses, expansion plans. How does all that? It didn't pay for itself. So tell me a little bit about how all that transpires.
Yeah, that's my whole role at Freedom House. So I don't know any other way to help the moms and kids. It's just not my background. And so I really came between college and law school. The board at Freedom House was thinking about opening a thrift store, and I was like, I can open a thrift store. And I didn't, it worked out, but it was kind of a long shot. And so Freedom House Thrift does a lot. We have 2 locations, one on Battleground, one on Bridford Parkway, and it does a lot to sustain what we're currently doing. And then we have a farm on the front part of our property, and the idea for that is to help us be able to grow the farm enough to sustain and grow what we're doing. Kind of like a family farm, except for our family is Freedom House. So we want to have businesses that are able to help us sustain to some degree, and when people donate, we got grants and donors like anybody else, and when they donate, we want that to be able to go towards growth. So a new house, or we're working on a road right now, going through the property to be able to build more, etc. So that's kind of how it goes.
And you sell strawberries. I know that's a
We sell a lot of strawberries.
huge part of summertime is taking trips out to the strawberry patch. So you've done golf tournaments, which is widely successful, and pig picking most recently, right? So just fantastic ways to support the ministry. So how would people go about supporting Freedom House if they were interested in hearing more and learning how to support your ministry?
Yeah, so they could go to the thrift store, they could come to the farm. If they went to helpfreedomhouse.org, there's all kind of videos for our moms and things that we've been doing. They learn a lot there. All the contact info is there. So
And your locations for your thrift stores and things like that are on there as well? Okay. So that's freedomhouse.org.
Help Freedom House.
Help Freedom House.
Freedomhouse.org. Okay, so remember that, guys. Helpfreedomhouse.org.
That's right. And we'll have Jamie include a link to that.
Well, that will be in this link, but that's also good to know. So
also Facebook, of course. It's if you want more day-to-day updates. We're on Facebook. And
So let's go back to the kids. So what makes you unique? Obviously, you mentioned kind of your foundational pillars about what makes you unique. What I think is super special is a lot of times moms are separated from their children. And so I've got some experience working with some where the ladies go away and they're dealing with residential inpatient, kind of inpatient in-house treatment for as much as a year, but they're separated from their families. So one of the special parts of what you do is you take care of the kids and you keep that family unit intact. And so how are the kids ministered to? How do the kids continue to be educated? So talk to us a little about, what the experience is like for the children.
yeah, so Freedom House really exists for the kids. It does not exist for the moms. We help the moms to help the kids. We love helping the moms. But
Yeah.
it's for the kids. And the Lord really birthed this thing in my mom, like through her whole life. She was working as a substance abuse counselor, and what she realized was a lot of these moms, like you said, would struggle with the choice of going to get help for themselves or leaving their kids. And oftentimes they would just be like, well, I'll just do it myself and see how it goes and try real hard this time or whatever, and not leave their kids. And so that's what Freedom House provides for them. But specifically how we care for the kids in the program is different for every single kid. It's customized depending on the kid and what they've gone through, but 80+% of our kids are under 3.
Wow.
So really what we do,
That's a very influential age, especially that 2, 1.5 to 3 years.
right, we just love on them. That's what we do.
This level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
we create, so in the program, a mom's getting up early, she's doing her quiet time in the morning, she's cooking breakfast. She's never really cooked breakfast like that before. She's helping the kids to get to school if there is a thing, if they're school age or
Yeah.
daycare. She's going to work, they're coming home, they're doing chores, they're doing normal family stuff, just structure, love, and that's what they need at that age, and that transforms them more than anything. We do a bunch of other stuff with them, obviously. If they need something, we help them. If they have educational concerns, it depends on the kid. Well, there's plenty of volunteers out there that will dive in and help
Yeah.
any kid with any issue that we encounter.
How do you get your volunteers? How to people to volunteer?
They just, I don't know.
mouth.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, website, thrift stores, whatever, they hear about us and start volunteering. I don't know, miracles, exactly when we need somebody, we tend to get them.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's,
good.
yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
yeah. That's really,
The Lord's
really,
providing for
Yeah.
you guys.
yeah, that's really why we are where we are.
That's so great. So tell us about kind of the aftercare. So your graduates come out of the program and they've gone through a year of counseling and been loved on and taught what it looks like to live a sober lifestyle. They're transferring that to their children, so they're learning how to nurture and love their children. And so aftercare is really important so they don't fall back into those ways. And so what's aftercare look like for your
Yeah, so
ladies?
aftercare looks like basically just doing living out what they learned in the program the first year. So they're just doing it more independently. They're still coming to group at night with the community. They are still involved in some counseling because our houses are rent-free. There are rules associated with that, so they have to follow a bunch of rules as part of the program. But in bed at a certain time, etc. Can't do certain things. I mean, just rules that would make sense to you, and they gotta do that. But otherwise, it's relatively normal life.
And are these homes on the acreage?
Everything is on the land
Okay.
right now, so that's great. So they live in brand new homes, like
So
on a
great.
3-acre pond with a ton of it. It's nicer than how most people live, and so that also has been a miraculous thing. It's not like we just have tons of money to throw
So
around.
tell a little bit about that, because that's some great stories around that, how all that came to be.
Yeah, so we looked for years for land. We felt like the Lord was leading us towards building this community since Freedom House started. We just couldn't do it. And we looked for years, and I actually was working with a realtor in town, Adam Brackett. And I don't know if y'all mentioned realtors on here or not other than y'all, but we were looking, and we gave up, literally gave up. We were like, we are doing something wrong, and walked across the street and saw this sign on this property that was so nice. It was a handwritten sign, And I was like, man, don't call. I'm like tired of, getting no's. And he called, and it worked out, and we kind of knew it was right, and the money for it, and the fundraising, and how every single thing worked, every single step from starting the farm to different grants, just how everyone got involved has been a true miracle. And I think that what I told you before, 8 to 10 houses out there with a community center, a full road, and just moms out there living, just 1 or 2 moms and their kids in a house like any other family. I think that is really something that the Lord has put in front of us that is going to happen. It's His plan. Yeah. It's not our plan. So we're just on board, and it's been exciting.
Catching the wave.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us about your big picture vision for the Freedom House. So I hear acreage, I hear a couple of houses, a couple additional houses. What's your big picture vision?
Yeah, so I'd love to do that, and I'd love to recreate it elsewhere thereafter. I think we got a lot of work to do based on our current size and what it will take to get everything I've mentioned done. But in 3 to 5 years, if we get that done, I think I'd like to start just a single house in some other cities around the country, and give people the same chance, and maybe grow it kind of the same way that we grew here, slow and take time.
And teach other people the mistakes and successes that you had, so they can maybe get there faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah,
we all learn from other people.
Oh yeah, we did as well, and I think that a lot of other cities need what we offer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
people call us from all over the country, because if a mom wants to bring their young kid into a Christ Center program that's free, or really even not the last 2 things, just bring their kid into a long-term, multi-year program, there are not many. So you search that online, you're going to probably find us, and we need it in more communities.
That's so great.
That's great.
So one of the neat things about you, you're such a varied businessman. So you're not only are you the executive director of Freedom House, but you have a law firm, and you also own Calibers.
Yeah.
Well, you just had your hands in a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, it's pretty weird, but I love that.
I love it.
That's how I like to do things.
Well, it also helps fuel your passion. You can devote yourself to the things that you're, super passionate about. So, well, listen, one of the things that I think I really want to promote, at least for our agent community, for people who are listening and they're not agents, is if you're looking for a fantastic place to support what's happening in our community, is I encourage you to take a look at Freedom House and visit helpfreedomhouse.org. It's a great way for you not only to give of your time, but your treasure and your talent. So you've got money, you may have time to devote, but you've got some kind of talent that you could give to this ministry to help support it. So just encourage you to look that up. Houston, how would they get in touch with you? Do you have an email address or a way to get in touch with you if they had more questions about the ministry besides, say, your website?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Houston, Houston, at helpfreedomhouse.org, or contact information's on that website. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank
your
you for having
time.
me.
I've really enjoyed learning more about what you do. I've heard about it, but not all the details,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. It's a really needed program.
Thank you.
In addition, they're just a great folks. So we really thank you for tuning in for the latest Prosperity Builder broadcast. And so
look for our next one.
Yeah, we look forward to bringing you more community leaders and agents who are making a difference in our community. So thanks for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Good night.
Bye.